Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and today we are here at Tropical Acres Farms. I love this place. It is mango season 2022 and we are right in the heart of this amazing Tropical Acres grove of mangoes, and they have some other stuff of basically mangoes. Been here for a long time, but they have a different varieties of fruits and they're available right now. You can go to their website and see what's available. Today I came to say hello to Alex and also to pick up a Tess Pollock mango. It's a mango. The tree I have, I just like the description of it. I ended up getting it, and I should taste before I get it, but I'm hoping it's good. I'm finally going to get a ripe one today to check out and try, and also see what else he has here that I can get that I haven't had before, and to do a review of them. But go to their website, tropicalacresfarms.com, and you can get 5-pound boxes if you're locally, 5-pound boxes. And I believe they're shipping them through the mail as well. If not, they're going to start real soon. But I love coming to this place and seeing what's new. So I definitely know I'm getting a Tess Pollock today because I called him up and he's got one for me. But let's see what else, if I could find anything new that I could review for you and let you know if it's worth having a tree or not. And don't make that mistake I did. Well, hopefully it wasn't a mistake of planting a tree before tasting the mango. Try to taste the mango first. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste these now, and I'll give you an update. So here we are. This is the main headquarters of Tropical Acres, and as you can see, they're consistently picking mangoes. And are you doing mail order yet, or just local?
We're starting
pickup?
this coming week. We're going to start shipping, which probably about a week from today, but we're planning to start next week, and we're going to open our fruit stand officially this weekend, this Sunday. I don't know what today's date is, Paul, but
okay,
it's a few days from now. We're going to make an announcement today that we're opening our fruit stand for regular hours. So we're excited.
Nice. Well, there it is, Tess Pollock, and this is one I was telling you about. So I know a little about the history, but tell us when you acquired this tree and why.
So originally, I wasn't planting on planting this mango. What happened was I had a volunteer that was helping me quite a while ago. We're talking about, probably about 8 years ago or so. And so he used to go to Chris Wenzel's place to buy mangoes sometimes. This was back before we had planted as much as we have here. And so he bought some trees from Chris and kept them in 3-gallon pots for a little while at my nursery in Loxahatchee, and then decided he wasn't going to plant these trees. So he kind of just gave them to me. And rather than plant them out here, we decided to plant them here. And one of those was Tess Pollock. So Tess Pollock is a mango. I think Chris named this mango. She can talk more about the background of it. I'm sure she's done videos.
Well, it came from Tess Pollock, who
was like a friend of hers.
Son had a tree, and they were about to. He said, "I don't want this tree to go bad, so please graft it." So.
Well, from what I can recall, the speculation was that this is a hybrid between Carrie and Turpentine. It's not fibrous like a turpentine, though. It has a tiny amount of fiber, but nothing extreme. Certainly, you can see the shape similarity between this and a Carrie. They can get bigger than this. In fact, let me find one here, because I've picked a couple the last few days. Here's a larger one. Okay, so you can see this one is a little bigger. The interesting thing about this mango is it has what we would call, what I group as the Indian-Alphonso flavor, which is what Carrie belongs to, and a number of other mangoes like Angie. So it belongs to that flavor group, in my opinion. But it's definitely unique. You can distinguish between eating this and a Carrie. You can tell the difference. So it's not like it's like a dead ringer for Carrie, kind of like Angie sometimes can be. So the tree is very dense. We can take a look at the tree a little later, Paul. It's very good at hiding its mangoes. So it will usually flower multiple times, and on the first bloom it usually doesn't make as much fruit as the second. But it seems like every year after that first bloom, when the mangoes start to mature, I don't see all of them in the tree, and I find them on the ground instead. Sometimes the animals beat me out to them. but like I had no idea that Tess Pollock mango was up in that canopy because it's so dense, and it's not even that tall of a tree at this point, but it's easy to get kind of lost in all the leaves and stems and stuff. So, but kind of a spreading growth habit. I would say kind of similar to Carrie in its growth habit thus far. So not like a hyper vigorous tree, but not a dwarf either. But customers have been pretty impressed with this mango. And it kind of took a little while for it to start bearing fruit. I would say like an extra year longer than most of the mango trees that we grow here, but the quality has been very consistent. So anyway, so we'll cut this one open, Paul. And,
so do you pick them green normally?
So normally I try to catch these as soon as I see any yellow color break. You can see on this one there's some yellow color break here at the top. And if you felt the mango part, you feel like there's just a slight bit of give. I'm going to try to find another one here that's kind of representative as well. Well, here's one that turned more yellow while it was on the tree. This one's almost ready to eat. Still has a little bit of green left. I like to eat these when they've turned totally yellow. So, okay, so we'll cut this one open, see how it is. We have had a decent amount of rain in the last week. Nice color inside, as you can see.
Yes.
So, and the seed's not too bad. Not a real thick seed. Okay. It does have edible skin. All right, let's see how this one turned out.
Smell it from here.
Yeah. So this one's pretty good. I've had slightly better ones before, but it's certainly not washed out or anything. This is a good mango. Not as overpowering as the Carrie, but definitely you pick up some of the same terpenes in this. So this one might maybe appeal a little bit more towards the Western palate than a Carrie would, or even an Angie, which is the trouble with those mangoes, because those mangoes really do appeal very well to people from either the Indian subcontinent or the Caribbean, or the subset of Americans that like that kind of strong spice flavor. So this one's not as overpowering. It doesn't overload the palate as much. So, but I think the same group of people appreciate this mango. So here, Paul.
All right, so this is Tess Pollock. I have a tree that is still relatively new, but here I go, my first time trying it. And that's why I love coming to Tropical Acres, I can tell you right now, because Alex knows exactly how to pick these. So, wow. Interesting.
Do you pick up that hint of like a Carrie or Angie or something like that in there?
Yes.
But at the same time, it's distinctive, right? So
that's a nice mango. Yeah. Tess Pollock. And wow, that's really good. And they're actually, Alex has them for sale right now. They're ripe and they're part of his 5-pound boxes and 10-pound boxes.
yeah, and our pre-order mixes that we post at night, we usually, if we find these, we'll put them in those, and we'll take a look at the tree in a bit. But it's worth growing. I would say probably more of a coastal mango because it's a little anthracnose prone, but it's not a commercial bearing mango, but it makes enough fruit for somebody that's a backyard grower and wants to share mangoes with their family and friends. Or whatever.
Does the tree grow big or no?
Not really. I mean, we'll take a look at it, but it's like I would say moderately vigorous tree. It's definitely not a super vigorous mango.
Semi-dwarf or?
No, I don't like to use that word anyway,
Yeah.
but I would say it's a dense, somewhat compact tree, but we're not talking about a Pickering here. We're talking about more like a Carrie.
Right.
So it has about the same vigor and growth habit as a Carrie.
Wonderful. That was delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. There's the Tess Pollock tree, everybody.
So this tree was planted, I believe, in 2015.
2015, so
Yeah.
7 years.
It was planted as like a 3-gallon tree. That's about how big this was when we planted it. And I want to say this started bearing. It was either in It was probably in 2018. So it's been in production for 4 years, I suppose.
So after about 3 years in the ground at a 3-gallon,
Yeah, which is a little long. Normally we can get them to fruit in 2. but it's not too bad. I think the issue we've had with this tree is that on its first bloom, it tends to make a lot of male flowers, which is something Carrie does as well. So it definitely inherited that trait from Carrie. It does flower multiple times. So almost every single year that we've been growing this, from the time it started blooming, it's flowered at least twice. And sometimes we'll even get some third residual bloom in it in different parts of the canopy. So the fruit that you see on this now is from the second bloom. The first crop is finished. So it is what I would classify as an early season mango. So pretty similar season probably to Carrie, maybe starts a little earlier because I've been picking some of these and I haven't really picked any of our second crop Carries yet. So let's see if I can find one. You can see it's got a very thick canopy, Paul, if you want to pan into here. Yeah. Very dense, very, very dense. More so than most mangoes. And so it's very easy for this thing to hide its fruit in here.
So I have this in my front yard. Is it a good tree to have in the front? Does it hide some fruit?
Yeah, maybe. And it's not something that's going to be loaded with mangoes like some of the other stuff we grow here. So yeah, it probably won't attract as much attention as some of these other more productive varieties. But it's not like a non-producer or anything. Obviously, it makes fruit. So I'm just going to see. Oh, here we go. We've got a ripe one right here. Look. So this one turned yellow. This is ready to drop. Probably if I just apply a little pressure, right there it goes. Comes off. Now, like Carrie, this mango will bleed white sap even when it's ripe. And a lot of mangoes, if you pick them and they bleed white, they were picked too soon and they're not going to ripen or taste properly, right? But this isn't one of those mangoes. This is one that will stay white even until it's ripe. And so that's a trait it got from Carrie as well.
So that one...
Here, smell it, Paul.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that one's almost turning yellow.
That one's ready, so we can pick this as well.
Okay.
You see again, white sap. So if I find any others that are ready to pick, even though they're green, but I'm not seeing any right now. Like I said, I like to grab these when they're breaking, just starting to break yellow color. They can still be green, but I want to see just the slightest bit of yellow color break. And you really have to search inside this thing to find its fruit.
The hide and seek tree.
Yeah, it is very much so. This is all I can find for now. I'm sure
all right, that's a Tess Pollock.
Anyway, I really like the aroma on this thing.
Yeah, definitely. I smelled the one inside.
It's the aroma on this. It's not like a Carrie. It's different. So when you smell this, it's like a hybrid of the Carrie and the classical aroma that you would find if you picked a turpentine mango. It's somewhere in between. So it's really interesting.
Would the seeds make a good rootstock since it's possibly turpentine?
Yeah, I have planted Tess Pollock seeds, and they actually have made decent rootstock. So that one I can remember. It is, from what I remember, it is sometimes monoembryonic and sometimes poly, I think. So kind of like lemon meringue in that respect. But most of the time I've only gotten one shoot when I've planted a Tess Pollock seed. But it seems to it makes kind of like a stout but thick rootstock seedling. So
now I know these ship mostly to the mail, but if somebody was coming far away and requested they wanted you to hold one with them to buy, do you do stuff like that?
Sometimes it's hard. I get a lot of requests, so it's a little tricky for me to remember something like that. Most of the time, if you're curious about this mango, I would just look for it in some of the mixes we post online. For local pickup, we post those. Currently, we post them between 8 and 10 p.m. And lately it's been closer to 10, but they do tend to sell out kind of quickly. Usually the mixes will sell out within a few minutes to an hour or so. But we did post like about 20 something of them last night. and this was in some of them. So you just have to read the descriptions. Otherwise, you can bring it up if you're visiting the farm, and maybe I'll have a spare one on hand to sell. Who knows? I only have one tree, so this isn't like where with other varieties where we've got a bunch of plantings of it. There's just this one. It's not a heavy producing tree. It's more of a modest producing mango, so it's not something I have tons of, but it is something that I want to make people aware about because it's an interesting variety. I think there is one tree at the Fruit and Spice Park. They had it labeled as Tess rather than Tess Pollock. That was a long time ago, though, so I don't know if they still have that tree or not. But anyway, it's one that I'd like to see more people try out here in South Florida for sure.
Wow, well, great. Well, thank you very much for showing us this and let me taste it.
Yep, thanks, Paul.
All right.